time for science. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Eve Daniels, aka The Nerdy Nanny, and today we get to science. All right, in last week's video, I showed you guys how to make pound cake, which is super fun. But in order to make a good pound cake, you have to have a scale. What do you do if you don't have a scale? You make one. Okay, so a scale is all about physics. It's about comparing two objects of different weights or masses to find out which one's heavier or to measure them out so that they're equal. In order to do this, hang on, we're gonna need, let's say we have one thing over here, could be butter, could be a bar of gold, and something else over here, eggs or silver coins. Now, in order to compare the two, we need to have some kind of beam between them. And that's going to balance on a pivot point or a fulcrum. Now, what happens is when they're the same size, they stay like this, all nice and level. But if you have a lot more weight on this side's going to tilt down. The butter goes up. Just like when you have two kids on a teeter-totter at the park. The heavier kid usually stays closer to the ground, and the smaller kid gets hoisted way into the... So in order to make one of these, I don't know, never done this before. That's what science is. You got a problem, you find a solution to it by asking questions and figuring it out. I know we need two things, like a basket or a plate or something, that have to weigh the same to start with on either side. That way, if our cup is really heavy in one and really tiny in another, it won't mess with our results. Then we need a balance beam of some kind and some kind of pivot point. This would be a lot easier if I still had my Legos. But what I do have is a bunch of pens and colored pencils. I've got yarn, I've got duct tape. So I think we can figure this out. Yeah, we should be able to figure this out. So I taped two little dip cups to this sort of zigzag colored pencil thing. It kept falling apart in the middle, so I don't know how long this will last, but it's holding the cups and it's pretty balanced. You'll notice though that when my finger's in the middle, this cup is actually lower, which means that my pencils weren't exactly the same size. So one of them must be further over than the other. But if I move my finger over just a little bit, now they're level. All right. So I was gonna try to build something for them to be on, but the colored pencils and tape were just too wobbly. So I found this old soda can, and they balance really well on this because it's a smooth round surface, but it keeps rolling around. I have a business card holder on my desk, so I was able to just fit the soda can in here. Now I can balance my scales. Oh, okay. So it's not perfect. The soda can is a little slippery, so you have to be careful. But I think that's a job pretty well done. Now let's see if we can't weigh up some baking ingredients. Oh, we've built our little tabletop scale here, and I'm really proud of it. It works perfectly. It works. The problem is this is too small for us to use to make pound cake, which was the whole point of making the scales. And I was trying to think of how to make it bigger, but because I don't have any real tools, I don't think I can tape together enough colored pencils to make a bigger standing scale. So instead, we're going to try something different. All right, now, when we were looking at scales, we were looking at the pivot point being on the ground, like a teeter-totter, which is what this one is. This is a tabletop or standing scale or balance scale. But you can actually do the same thing if the balance point is up top. Just the same way here. If this one is heavier, it will go down, and if this one is lighter, it'll go up, kind of like when you lean to one side or the other on the swings. So now we're going to try to do that. Just so happens I have exactly what we need for that. One scale. Guys, we got ourselves a set of balance scales. I took two Tupperware containers, tied them up with string. I had to tape them in place a little bit because the yarn kept sliding on the plastic Tupperware. And then I just stuck them in the little notches of this hanger. So let's go see if it works. Okay, so slight problem. We were gonna hang this on my counter, but I made the strings a little too long, so the cups were actually touching the counter. That's okay. Science, we improvise. We're hanging it on the oven instead. All right, so I'm going to start off testing just a little bit of butter because I don't want it to go wrong and have to clean everything up off the floor. So a little bit to start. Ooh. You have no idea how happy that makes me. Okay, so now we need the same amount of sugar as butter for pound cake. If you missed the pound cake, go back and watch the pound cake. It's delicious. Can you see that? Can you see that? I don't know about you, but that looks pretty even to me. Check it out. Science in action. I love the taste of science in the morning. And that's it. Those are our working balance scales. With these, we'll be able to make as much pound cake as we have butter, because I'm almost out of butter. I hope you guys had fun. I know I did. I love all things science related, but let me know what kinds of videos you'd like to see in the future. I can definitely do more baking, more science, more gardening, but right now, I got some pound cake to bake.